For context, right? This is what I used to look like before I disappeared from YouTube, and this is what I look like right now at the time of shooting this particular video. Do you see any difference? I know that you do. Now, if you had told me, 3 years ago, 2 years ago, that if you had told me 3 years ago that I'll be making a video about being at the gym, I would have laughed in your face, like literally, because for the longest time, the gym was, an absolute intimidation for me. For someone like me who was skinny, did not see any reason to go to the gym. I didn't go to the gym because I wanted to get shredded or because I was a fitness enthusiast. Quite frankly, I went because I was desperate. I started going to the gym because I was desperate. I was desperate to survive in Lagos. I was desperate to survive you know, and to start liking myself, the person that I saw in the mirror whenever I looked at the mirror. That's if I was even, confident enough to look at the mirror. Let me tell you how stepping into the gym completely changed my life, completely changed my life and the way that I look and I see myself. So, as I said earlier, this is what I look like when I completely disappeared from YouTube, when I moved to Lagos. And this is what I look like currently at the time of filming this video. And I can say for a certain that I have achieved a massive milestone. I got my own place, which I mean, if you lived in Lagos, you would know that's a big deal and it's a massive battle. But I was incredibly lonely, and I had been, in Lagos at the time for over a year, and I had zero friends. All I did every single day was work, hustle. Would I even call that work? It was hustle, sleep, get depressed, and repeat. I was putting, 100% into 100% of my energy into making a living, but 0% into actually living. And I was slowly falling into depression because it was a lot, compared to where I was coming from. I had friends, I had family, I had a community I could easily depend on. And on top of that isolation, I was carrying a lot of silent baggage about my body. So I have always been a very, very skinny person. I mean, the highest I've ever known myself to weigh is 47. And, living in a society like this where there's so much emphasis placed on, body type and how you should look, it really took its own toll on me. My self-esteem was on the floor. I had no self-confidence, and no real sense of self-worth. I felt fragile physically, emotionally, and then I felt like the hustle in Lagos was, really, really swallowing me up, and I looked as tired and depleted as I actually felt. So one day I just woke up on a, random Saturday morning and realized that I cannot continue living like this. I needed to put, myself out there. I needed to make friends. I didn't know exactly how to go about it. I didn't know exactly how to socialize. Even if it was terrifying for me, I know that I wanted to do it because remember, I didn't like my body. I didn't like myself. So taking myself the way I am out, I didn't even have friends to even go out with, or I didn't have where to go to. So it was a lot. It was really, really a lot. So I decided that I was going to go to the gym. And luckily, we had a gym just, I think, like 3 minutes or 5 minutes away from my own house, where I was at the time. And I remember that very first day like it was yesterday. Why am I excited? Okay. So it was a Saturday morning. I just walked into the gym, made inquiries, and I paid for one day subscription. And guys, when I say I was terrified, I was terrified. I mean, my heart was literally in my throat. I looked at myself, this incredibly slim person walking into a room full of heavy, metals, weights, machines, and people who looked like they had their life figured. like they lived in the gym, you know. I just stood there thinking, what on earth am I really doing here? You know, am I in the right place? Are people going to laugh at me? Am I going to drop this weight on my leg, on my feet rather? It felt like I was walking onto a stage that I was unprepared for. Because the truth is, that morning I just thought about it and I entered. Initially, I felt out of place. Imagine how I looked. Can you just imagine how I look? Picking up a weight. I felt like people were looking at me, people were judging me, and wondering why I was even here. Because a lot of people go to the gym to lose weight, but me, why am I here really? The years of insecurity came at me, and it was screaming, almost throwing me down to the floor. So but I stayed. I stayed. I didn't leave. I stayed, and I'm so grateful that I did. Now, did I know what I was doing? Absolutely not. I didn't know what I was doing at all. But I finished my first workout despite how unsure I was about anything. And that Saturday morning, as I walked out of the gym, I knew something has changed, something has shifted. I felt so powerful. I told myself I must return. In fact, on my way back home, I remember saying to myself, I feel like I can do anything. I don't know if anybody knows or understands how I feel. Please let me know. Let me know that I'm not alone. As weeks went on and I kept showing up, I realized one very beautiful truth about the gym that I think is so liberating. It's even a life lesson that goes beyond the gym. Nobody really cares. All the people that I thought were looking at me were judging me. Nobody cares because when you are struggling with your own low self-esteem, your brain is playing a trick on you. You think that you are the center of everyone's attention. You think everyone is staring at your skinny arms or judging you or whispering about you, but nobody cares. And the truth is, everyone in the gym, everyone in life actually is, fighting their own battle in their own way. So the gym stopped being intimidating for me and started becoming a sanctuary. Sometimes I would take my depression to the gym and just go there and start crying, because I felt like that was home for me. That was me investing in myself. It helped me to start eating better. I started gaining strength. I started gaining weight. I mean, you can see from those pictures, I'm going to include some here. My physical appearance started to change, those are just the beautiful side effects. The transformation was, happening not just in my mind, but physically. It could people can see. The confidence started coming back. I started to hold my head up high, a little higher than I would normally when I'm walking down the street. It wasn't just about, putting on weight or fitting into certain mold. It was really about improving myself, that I could show up for me, week after week. That was really what it was about for me. Walk through the door and commit to one Saturday, one Monday at a time. Let yourself feel awkward. It's fine. Do it afraid. Feel out of place, but do it. Because on the other side of that awkwardness is the self-love, is the self-confidence that you've been searching and you've been waiting for. Is the real you. It's the thing that you really want the most. For a long time, I thought fitness was, about the look, losing weight. Ah, all I knew about fitness was lose weight. So for me, it's about taking up space. For a long time, low self-esteem made me want to shrink. But the gym taught me that I have every right to be here, every right to take up space physically and energetically. It gives me a voice, it gives me confidence. And it's been better since then, I can tell you. So don't wait until you look the paths to join, work in as you are. Let yourself feel awkward, because on the other side of that 60 minutes is a version of you that is stronger, calmer, and way more confident. So yeah, that's just what I wanted to share with you today. Don't think it too much, don't think about it too much, just go for it. Thank you so much for sitting down with me on this channel, on this video today, and talking about, you know, my love for the gym. You guys, I'm doing so much at the gym now, and I love it so much. I have seen so much progress. I have seen so much, so much, so much amazing progress. So if this video resonated with you, please do well to subscribe if you haven't already. Let me know in the comments what's holding you back from starting your own journey. And if you have any question about maybe the gym or just whatever, please let me know. Yeah, let's talk, let's chat in the comments. You guys, I'll see you in another video. For now, peace out.